This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather. Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter. Welcome to the Sports Catastrophe on this day. I know that it's September 7th, and that's the day of the locomotive disaster. But because I did a video about the locomotive disaster, which you can find in the Sports Catastrophe September chronological playlist on my page, you know that you see the locomotive disaster. So as usual, I don't do the same event twice. I try to find different ones that I may have missed. And this was a magical moment in 1993 as the St. Louis Cardinals took on the Cincinnati Reds. And Mark Whiten, number 22, as you see, had a fantastic game. He had a game for the ages as the Cardinals beat the Reds 15-2. But what people forget about this game is that it was actually the second game of a doubleheader. That's right. People forget, and I don't blame you for forgetting, that the Cardinals and Reds actually had to play a double dip on September 7th, 1993. The Cardinals-Reds game, the first game of this doubleheader, was a game rescheduled from June 4th when it was rain. So they started at 5:35 Eastern time, which is weird. They could have started like 3 or 4, but at 5:35 they started. It took 3 hours and 41 minutes to complete, and the Reds won in the bottom of the ninth over the Cardinals, 14-13. It was a tight game. Tim Costo hit a ground rule double to score first for the Reds, and then a 3-run shot by Todd Seal, of all people. He of the 10 different MLB teams. But Juan Samuel, future Blue Jay and former Phillies star second baseman, hit a 3-run home run of his own to make it 4-3. Bernard Gilkey hit a 2-run double in the fifth to make it 5-4. Joe Oliver hit an RBI double to tie the game. Hal Morris and Reggie Sanders both had sac flies, 7-5 Reds. And in the seventh, Greg Jeffries with an RBI. Juan Samuel was at the plate when Les Lancaster threw a well pitch, scoring Gary Farshall, and then Samuel hit an RBI double to make it 9-6. It looked like the Reds were going to win this game. Well, yeah, but in the eighth inning, Luis Elisea hit an RBI double. Ozzie Smith grounded out and scored a run. Greg Jeffries hit an RBI single to tie the game, and then Mark Whiten had a bases loaded walk from Scott Rushkin. Stan Royer hit a 2 RBI single. He was pinch hitting for Lonnie Macklin. And then Eric Pappas hit an RBI double to make it 13-9 Cardinals. You would think that would be the end of it, but no, it wasn't. Dan Wilson, future Mariners star catcher, hit a 2 RBI single, and Jack Doherty hit a sac fly. The bottom of the ninth, Thomas Howard grounded out off of Mike Perez. Jacob Brunfield hit a double. Rob Murphy came to the mound for the Cardinals, walked Hal Morris, and then Todd Burns came in to pitch to Reggie Sanders, who hit a RBI triple. Game over. Reds win 14-13. So everyone had to catch their collective breath. So in front of 22,000 fans at Riverfront Stadium, the second game of the doubleheader started at 9:46 Eastern Time. The Cardinals starting lineup was this. Geronimo Pena at second, Lonnie Macklin in left, Bernard Gilkey right field, Todd Seal third, Gerald Perry first, Mark Whiten, the hero of the night, at center field, Tom Pagnozzi catching, Trip Cromer at short, and Bob Tewksbury pitching. The Reds counted with Thomas Howard left, future Jacob Brunfield in center, Hal Morris at first, Chris Sable, Spuds as they call him, at third base, Tim Costo, not Costco, Costo in right field. Juan Samuel, future Jay at second. Dan Wilson, future Mariner catching. Jeff Branson, shortstop, and Larry Loopers pitching. So Whitten actually came up in the first inning. After all that, Lonnie Macklin was on third, Todd Seal on second, and Gerald Perry on first. Whitten came up to the plate, and off of a fastball from Loopers, parked one into left center field and hit a grand slam, scoring himself Macklin, Seal, and Perry. 4-0 Cardinals right off the bat. Pardon the pun. But yeah, Whitten did that. And it's amazing. If you watch the highlights on YouTube and all that, you hear a familiar voice doing the Cardinal games. Yeah, well, 2 familiar voices if you're a Cardinals fan. One if you're just a plain baseball fan. As Joe Buck did Cardinal games on TV. And alongside him was Mike Shannon, who was a legendary announcer for the Cardinals for 50 years before passing away, I think last year. Anyway, the Reds would score 2 runs as Hal Morris hit a sac fly. And then after a terrible throw to try to pick off Brumfield at third base, the Reds scored to make it 4-2. Little did people know that was the only 2 runs the Reds would score. Everyone knows about Mark Whiten. If you know about Mark Whiten's fantastic day, then you're thinking, well, Whiten was El Perfecto in a sense. But he wasn't. Whiten in the 4th inning, his second at bat, popped up to third base. So nothing happened. Nothing happened for the Cardinals till the 5th when Lonnie Macklin hit a sac fly. So that was the first run since the first inning from Whiten. So Whiten had 1 home run, 4 RBIs. Todd Seal walked. Gerald Perry walked against Mike Anderson. Mark Whiten then parked a home run to right center field, so he hit one to left center, now to right center. The score Seal and Perry ahead of him, 8-2 Cardinals. So 2 home runs, 7 RBIs. And then in the 7th, after Gerald Perry hit an RBI single to score Gilkey and put him at first and Seal at second, Whiten came up against Anderson again and teed off on a home run to right center field, scoring 3 or more RBIs. So he had 3 home runs and 10 RBIs right off the bat. He had 3 home runs. He had a grand slam, a 3-run home run, and a 3-run homer. Another 3-run homer. Cardinals were up 12-2. Geronimo Pena actually went deep off Rob Dibble, known for his temper and all that. Made it game 13-2. Dibble was still on the mound in the top of the 9th when Dan Royer struck out and Gerald Perry hit a single. So with those two, with Perry on, Whiten then took a pitch from Dibble and crushed it to center field. You don't know where it hit. Now, if you watch the highlights, you see that the ball just floated into center field. It doesn't look like it hit anything, but no, that ball hit high up off of a center field overhang, and it was gone. It was 15-2. Gotta remember Joe Buck's call. Hit the center. Did he? Yes. 4 home runs in 1 game. That was just amazing what Mark Whiten did. Tewksbury did his job and actually had the complete game victory for the Cardinals. So Tewksbury went to 16-8. And the Cardinals went to 12 games above 500. The Reds would dip to 4 games below 500. The Cardinals would still be 3rd in the NL East, 10 games behind Philly, and 2.5 back of Montreal. Cincy in the West would still be 5th in the West, 22 back of the Giants. So that's what happened. And all that. Cardinals didn't do much that year. But they did okay. That's what mattered. And Mark Whiten, 4 home runs and 12 RBIs, all off of home runs. No RBIs off of a base hit other than a home run. So, yeah, it was amazing. He went deep for a 2-run shot, 2 3-run homers, and a grand slam. So that's 12 RBIs in 1 game. I know that the Reds were just basically out of players in a sense because, they were playing a doubleheader. But it was amazing to see Mark Whiten go deep 4 times. And then a lot of fans were actually cheering for Whiten and all that, which was great. Take away Whiten's 12 RBIs, and the Cardinals still would have won, albeit narrowly. But yeah, 4 home runs. He had more home runs in 1 game than the Reds had runs in that game. 4 home runs is nothing new. Like, it's been done prior to 93 and after 93. But 12 RBIs in 1 freaking game. Mark Whiten is amazing. And to think he was a former Blue Jay farmhand who was traded to Cleveland for the want of one Tom Candinati in 1991. Whiten would going to do some good numbers and hit till the late 90s. Just saying. Anyway, I'm Jeff. I'm going to do